Hello, Sagittarius. Welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. If Sagittarius is your sun, moon, or rising sign, this is your reading. Please hit the like button, leave a comment. Consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. And if there is anything you would like me to pray over or meditate upon or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Now, this is going to be a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I might provide. And remember, Sagittarius, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. So, starting off with the 10 of Wands. There's a lot of energy. That is really full throttle here, right? I think that there's a need here to slow things down just a little bit. All right, well, let's take a look at some other energies. There's the 2 of Wands, the Death card, the Emperor, 3 of Wands, lots of fire energies here. And here's a little bit of that slowness, right? Here's a little bit of that caution. We've got a Queen of Pentacles. We've got a Knight of Wands, 4 of Cups, and the Chariot. Okay, interesting. Interesting. A lot of fire here. Let's select the mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. This is one random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot. Let's just see if we can slowly get one out. I think this one. And we'll put Alien, Simon Mork, Ripley right there on top. We're not going to look at that card until the very end. But it will tie everything together. It will give us the confirmation that we need at the end of the reading. But if at any point during the reading you get an idea, a sense, a feeling of what that card is, I want you to put your prediction in the comment section. Okay? Let's do it together. Let's make it a group exercise in intuition. All right, I hope you play along with me. Let's take a look around the room first. We have major, major, major. Okay, we have the confidence to continue upon our path of transformation. Right, that's beautiful energy. What you're doing is exactly what you should be doing. You have the divine sanction. You have the divine authority. You're on a mission. Then we have a lot of fire, 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 fire. A little bit of water, no air. And we have our earth energy. So this is a situation where the communication we're looking for might not be present. Okay? And to have the Knight of Wands in the environment, first thing to say is, let's not act too hastily. Okay? There's an absence of air. There's this impulse to rush in the environment, right? Maybe we're rushing forward. Maybe we're really trying to make some decisions as quickly as possible, push things through as quickly as possible. Let's be careful. Let's be careful with that. I think also this card's given me the suggestion, especially in conjunction with the 2, the 2 of Wands, but the 2 that are in front here on this 10 of Wands. I feel like there's someone else in your life, a business partner, a collaborator, other friends or assistants or associates, co-workers or whatever. I feel like there's maybe a lack of communication, but I'm feeling more like a lack of trust. Yeah. And I wonder if that's why we've got the 2 and the 10 of Wands here. And this fire in the environment. I almost feel as if you're realizing that some of the people around you, you cannot trust them, and so you're almost kind of scrambling to figure out what to do, or to you're rushing to get everything done yourself because you feel like you cannot trust the people around you. Now, there's no communication here. There's no swords energy. I feel like there is no trust, but there's also no real conversation being had. So how do we know we can't trust them? Is it just a subtle feeling for you? Is it an intuition or something, right? So I feel like we have to be very cautious with how we're approaching these other people in our lives. We don't want to do anything hasty or impulsive. Trust your instinct. If you feel like there's something shady going on, trust it. We need to bring the air energy in to kind of investigate, right? To reason this out, to think it through, while at the same time, you've got to do what needs to be done. If there is a fox in the hen house, it won't really do any good to sit down and wait and try to figure out, oh, I wonder how it's in there. I wonder why it got in there. No, you've got to get up and you've got to do something about it, right? I kind of feel that's what it is right now. I feel like there is also this Eight of Pentacles in the future. This is one way forward, I guess, which is caution, which is prudence, which is not saying to not act, right? That's the problem with these two cards, I think, is that we see the Eight of Pentacles and maybe we think, oh, well, I should just be patient and wait. Well, yeah, it's not always about waiting. The Eight of Pentacles is not a card that always says, just wait. That's the kind of blanket, stock, cookie cutter tarot readings that I don't do, and I don't like to watch, right? Oh, we've got an Eight of Pentacles. It means you should wait. Maybe you should, maybe you shouldn't. This is the card that says you need to do what is appropriate in the situation, just like if you're trying to raise crops, if you're trying to grow this abundant, I don't know, fruit tree or whatever. You need to know how much sunlight to give it. How much heat does it need? It's not all the heat or none of the heat, right? You need to know what level, what degree of pressure to put into this situation. How much water, how much fire, right? How much waiting? Is it a situation where you need to hold back your actions for a moment or two, observe, right? Figure out exactly, just wait a moment or two before you act, right? To get some sort of clarity or confirmation. There's strategy involved here. That's what I'm trying to say. It's not just a card that says you got to wait. Well, maybe you do. Maybe not. This card is also the Sun in Virgo. So this is having the wisdom and the clarity, the sun, the solar, nature, to see exactly what is needed in that moment, right? If you feel like a hammer, everything's going to look like a nail. Nail is not always what you need. So we might need a different tactic. Maybe this card is just kind of the hammer. You just want to go out and just kind of kick everybody out and lock the doors. But maybe there's the idea of hanging back for a second, observing. Maybe you have to watch the fox get closer to the hen house, and then you're going to go out and stop it, right? You don't necessarily wait until the fox is already in there and the damage is done in the middle of the mayhem. But then you also don't go out the night before and just get rid of all the foxes, right? I mean, you could probably do that, but is that really the right use of your force? Yeah, maybe you'll be preventing any foxes ever getting into your hen house, but maybe something else is going to be wrong with the hens while you're out there getting rid of all the foxes. So this is about proportion. It's about the intelligence and the strategy of knowing, feeling even, what's needed in any given moment, right? The right degree of force and pressure and that sort of thing. All right, so let's get back on track here. We had that 2 and 10 of wands. And I feel like this is, I almost feel like this is like a partner even, like a business, like an equal partner in the business sort of thing. But with the 10 here, there's this 2, and this is an interdependence. And it feels to me like there was or is someone in your life that you are trusting to handle their responsibilities, right? To do what needs to be done to the point where you don't have to supervise them. Yeah. And I feel like the two of you together are leading a group, leading the larger group behind you. And then, of course, we go to the Two of Wands, which is emphasizing the two of you together, right? Outside the context of everything else that you're doing, all of the responsibilities, all of this really comes down to your relationship with this other, okay? And I wonder, I almost feel as if there are too many chefs and not enough line cooks here, you know? Because I kind of feel like there can only be one emperor, right? But there's someone else that is kind of wanting to wear that crown, wanting to have that role. And so there's this idea now, or there's a suspicion, or there is just this feeling that you can't trust anyone around you, because are they all trying to usurp your authority? Are they all trying to take your crown? That's one of the shadow aspects of the emperor. The emperor is someone that is going to get rid of every fox in every field, in every forest, all over the world, so that there is nothing to threaten their henhouse, right? So this is eliminating all potential threats even. This is completely preemptive, and it's a tyrannical kind of energy, right? And we don't want that. So we definitely need a little bit of this earth, and we definitely need a little bit of this water, and we need this Queen of Pentacles down here to help us kind of focus and think about things and assess things and feel it out and take the right course of action. Okay, because the emperor will always strive to not only preserve and protect its authority, but to increase its control, increase its power. That's the nature of every emperor that ever was. There's never been a ruler that has said, oh, I don't need too much power, let me give some of it back. No. There may be the illusion of returning a little bit of power, but it's as if they steal $100 from you, right? And then they apologize, they give you $1 back. I'm sorry, let me give it back to you. Well, you still kept 99% of it. You gave a little bit back as a token of your goodwill, but we're not falling for that. Anyway, so we need to be careful with this emperor energy, because whatever you're doing, whatever you're in charge of, there is going to be an innate desire for you to do more, to have more, to take more responsibility, to expand your business, your project, your consciousness. And then we start looking at everything as maybe trying to usurp our authority or take control away from us, or to kind of go around our authority. All right? I don't know if you're running a business or if you're trying to start a business, or if this is a kind of a coworker thing, if you're a manager, a supervisor. It could even be something taking place in the family too, right? Kind of get a Godfather vibe here a little bit. Great series of movies. And the book, obviously, the book was amazing. Mario Puzo. So, the Three of Wands is up here at the top of the path of the dove. And this is a reminder to stay focused on your integrity. This is your strength of character. Right? This is when you feel this impulse, when you feel like you need to just radically defend your authority in life, generally even, right? Maybe this isn't a business or a career thing, or maybe it's just generally in life. When you have this feeling to just preemptively get rid of any opposition, we have to refocus on our goals. We have to make sure that what we're doing has the integrity, that we are staying true to our principles, which I think are aligning with this Chariot energy. There is this sense of you being very strict in what you believe. I wouldn't be surprised if you have a military background or law enforcement or maybe martial arts, right? Because I feel a strict discipline with you. And this is a discipline that kind of says you're going to do the right thing in every situation as much as possible, right? You're trying to always maintain the proper control of this chariot. And I think that you have the best of intentions. You want this to be a successful and organized life, a business, family. Maybe this is just a vacation. Maybe this is an outing for the weekend or something, right? It doesn't have to be on a grand global kind of scale. It could be just something that's happening like today or tomorrow, you know. I do think this is kind of something to do with a couple of weeks span of time, right? So I think the best bet anyway is to give it a moment, right? To allow all of the data to come in. We really do, we need to interrupt the impulsive flow of this fire energy. All of this fire is going right here to the environment, to this very impulsive Knight of Wands. We are interrupting that with a little bit of earth. It says, whoa, whoa, hold your horses. Okay, let's look at it a little closely. Let's think it. Let's just pause for a beat and make sure that we're doing the right thing. Make sure that what we're thinking about doing, the action that we're going to take eventually, make sure that it aligns with our core values. Make sure that our thinking and our feeling are in harmony. So we don't have a lot of water energy here. Got a little bit, not that much though. We certainly don't have any air energy. So I feel like there's not really a lot of discourse. There's not really a lot of thought taking place. It's just, I see a nail and I'm going to hammer it, right? And that's generally fine, right? Most nails, you see it, you should probably do something with it. Don't just leave them sticking halfway out, right? But we have to take into account what the long-term goals are. Here's that death energy, and this is at the bottom of the path of the dove. See, I remember at the very beginning, I said, you've got the authority, the confidence to follow your destiny, to follow this, continue this path of your evolution, right? And perhaps for you, this is a big moment. It might just be a very small event in time and space, right? Just trying to get the family on a vacation or something, right? But it feels like a huge, huge moment in your personal spiritual evolution. So the death card under here is almost saying, just let all this stuff go, right? Just let it happen. Put it behind you. Don't even bother with it, right? Now, of course, I don't think that's what is going to happen because there is action needed in the environment. You do have to do something, right? You do have to be involved in life, right? But I think the death card is saying, put it all into a greater context. Look at the bigger picture. How significant is this thing? It may feel like it's a huge looming problem. It might not be that big of a deal. And I think that as we pause and try to catch a breath, we do need a little bit of air energy. As we pause and catch our breath, we might see the significance of this or the insignificance of it, right? Because we can put it into the context of our larger life path. This is one little blip in the totality of your life. It feels very intense right now, but I think what you do in this moment is really going to affect where the path is kind of turning for you, right? It's almost as if we are kind of in a fork in the road, right? If we look at all this fire energy, it's leading us toward either the water here or the fire here, right? We're going straight this way, and we're at a crossroads, right? We pause here to assess things. Do we take the path of fire or take the path of water? Water is up here, right? Even with this Cancer and Chariot energy, and fire is down here. Not so much in the Queen of Pentacles, but in this is pure fire. And perhaps we need to find the middle road. Maybe this will be the Art or Temperance card, which incidentally is your power card, right? That Art or Temperance card, the Sagittarius energy. Maybe we are trying to shoot our arrow right in between the fire and the water, right? we're going to take action, yes, but we're going to do it from a place of love and compassion and softness and yielding, right? Rather than just being pure fury. Okay. Now, we're going to switch to the path of the serpent here, and as I do this, I'd like to ask that you hit the like button. Leave a comment for me. Consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't yet, especially if this is resonating with you. All right. I appreciate you. Okay. So, Queen of Pentacles here. This is kind of the introspection that has to take place in this very brief moment where we're just kind of assessing things and deciding in even a rather instinctual way what the best course of action is. See, we even have that with the Chariot card, with the Cancer energy. This is kind of like trusting our instincts, right? The Charioteer is in a meditative posture, isn't really holding the reins at all, it's just kind of sitting there, trusting the Sphinxes to carry the Chariot and the Charioteer forward. So it's almost like we have to take this brief yet infinite moment to allow our instincts to activate, to allow the proper course of action to make itself known, and that, I think, is going to get us right through that narrow passageway between the water and the fire. Being too kind of apathetic, too nonchalant, too don't care what happens. And then, of course, too much in control, too much authority and power here, right? And this reminds me of the passage in the book Zhuangzi, a Taoist book of stories, where there is a chef, a butcher actually, and he's talking about how he has progressed as a butcher to become kind of the perfect butcher, right? And he's talking about some butchers, they need to replace their knife every day because they're just hacking away at stuff, right? It's like a hammer and a nail. Pretty soon you're gonna go through hammers pretty quickly. But he can basically carve up his animal, whatever, do his butchering with his eyes closed, effortlessly. Remember what I said about the Chariot, right? Eyes closed, kind of just trusting the moment, right? Can just close their eyes and the knife just goes where it's supposed to go. It finds the space in between the joints of the animal, right? And I don't want to offend anybody by talking about butchering animals, but that's how the story goes. And so he never has to never even has to sharpen his knife because it doesn't really touch anything. It just finds its way in between all of the joints and all this sort of stuff. And I feel like that's what you're kind of going for here, or what's being recommended to you. We have all of this fire, right? And the fire is very good, very strong, very useful, but it needs to find, just like the Sagittarian arrow, it needs to just be fired in the right direction, the direction of no resistance, right? To where it will find its way through the situation effortlessly, right? With your eyes closed, you sit there and meditate on it, and it's happening, right? You know, and that's kind of what I'm seeing in between these two here. Now, back to the Queen of Pentacles. This is that infinite moment where you we're turning from the past to the future, right? So I think that this is, in some ways, trying to forget everything we've ever learned, right? Because I think in this situation, and usually with the Queen of Pentacles, I would say, hey, you've got to look at your past. See, look at that long winding road behind you. You can see how you got right here to this moment, and that'll give you some insight into how to move forward, right? In this case, I feel like you don't need to do that, right? I feel like this is too much of a delay. This is too much relying on our history, relying on what is not our instinct. It's more of an acquired instinct, right? That if we are who we have always been, then I think we're just all fire, right? Because what is the Queen of Pentacles looking at, but all of this fire, right? Well, if you're used to fire, if your entire history is fire, and it goes all the way back to this, the Emperor, which probably goes all the way back to a father-type figure for you. If we're used to just fire and hammers and nails, that's what we're going to apply to the future. So it's almost like you need to invoke more of this Chariot card. Close your eyes, let go of the reins, and trust that your arrow will go right through the situation. Okay, I hope that makes sense. I'm not saying forget who you are, where you've come from, but don't mistake your acquired behaviors for true spontaneity, true instinct, true naturalness, right? We've learned a lot of stuff in life, and that becomes so ingrained in us that it feels like instinct. But it's an automatic, unconscious reaction to things. A nail, hammer it. Right? So this card is maybe trying to bring that into awareness, that just because it feels like an instinct and it feels like a natural reaction to things, it's an acquired instinct. It's an acquired reaction. All right? Okay, now we're working our way up here, and we're getting to this 4. And obviously the 4 of Cups is kind of that, this is the energy that we don't want, and this is really a lack of care. This is the apathy. This is just like, man, I don't care what happens one way or the other. This is maybe caring too much. And this is caring too little. This is too much control. This is not enough control. And Sagittarius, as the archer, you know the appropriate, you know how crucial the appropriate amount of tension is. You got to hold the bow just right. You know, you want to have a lot of control, but then not too much. It has to be the perfect kind of balance. The equilibrium needs to be there, right? And I think through this situation, which it is very much related to this Chariot and this Cancer energy, I think it is for the benefit of everyone in your life. It is for the benefit of the entire realm, right? If we're talking about the Emperor, it's not just for the Emperor alone. It is for the entire, the benefit of the entire realm, okay? And that's what we have to keep in mind, especially with this 3. We have to make sure that we're maintaining our integrity and doing what's best for the realm, not just for what the hammer wants, you know. Let's look at the mystery card. All right. Gosh, I don't know. I don't know about this one. I'm just going to say it is the Art or Temperance card, because that's kind of what we're talking about here. I feel like this is one of those situations that feels intensely important. It feels like this is the crucial moment of life, and indeed, I think it is. Right? Even if it is just one blip in the rest of the totality of your life, this moment only happens once. And it's a crucial moment because the way you handle this situation is going to be one more repetition of that behavior to determine the next behavior, right? Or it's going to be something else. So this is that once-in-a-lifetime moment to change everything. I'm thinking Art or Temperance card. No, it's not. But it is the Wheel of Fortune. And the Wheel of Fortune is kind of that karma card, right? It's the cycles that repeat. It's the larger picture. It's the bigger cycle that we're on. So maybe this really is that once-in-a-lifetime moment to change your trajectory a little bit, right? To change these ingrained behaviors, to change a little bit of our future by understanding our past, which is, pretty much the Queen of Pentacles energy. So I think it's very crucial how you handle this current situation, okay? The Wheel of Fortune is also talking about expansiveness, growth, a successful life. This is what's good for the realm. This is the prosperity that will cover the land, right? The entire realm is going to benefit from the correct choice here. Interesting. We're going to do an extended reading as well. All right. If you want to stick around, click on the link in the corner. That'll give you access to every extended reading, not just for Sagittarius, but for every sign. You can cross-watch. Maybe check the Aries and or the Cancer readings. Okay. I want you to know that you're the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you, and I love you. And we're all in this together.